Welcome to Coming Out of the Dark podcast, a podcast like none other, where women are empowered, encouraged, and uplifted to be the best version of themselves. Get ready to come from darkness into light with a passion to fulfill purpose. Here is your host, Miss Lady O.
Hello. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coming Out of the Dark. I am your host, Miss Lady O. If you're tuning in for the first time, I want to share that this platform is in celebration of the life and memory of my beautiful sister, Glennis Marie Boyce. She is the inspiration for this platform. All that I do is in celebration of her life, and what she means to me. Listen, even saying this statement reminds me of how much I miss her, especially during this time of my life. I can almost recall what she would say and how she would respond to the situations going on in my life. I am so blessed to have someone like her as my inspiration. I also want to share I am not a doctor or a therapist, but I am a certified empowerment coach who is committed to supporting women who are ready to break the cycle of self-sabotaging thoughts and beliefs so they can build healthy relationships, own their identity, and confidently achieve their desired goals. It is my life's purpose to encourage, empower, and uplift, and I am honored to do this on this platform. So I have a question to ask. Did you listen to the previous podcast episode? If you didn't, I would like to encourage and invite you to listen. I shared my story about overcoming cancer. It was freeing to share my story. As you can imagine, there is so much emotion built up on the inside from navigating the twists and turns of this battle. I am quite sure you can relate. So on this episode, I want to talk about pain, power, and purpose. How the 3 P's are joined together. You can't get to one without experiencing the other. Our pain is connected to our power, which reveals our purpose. When we hear pain, we want to immediately avoid any situation that would cause pain. If you're going to the doctor, one of the first questions we ask is, how painful is this procedure? Now, when we're in a relationship, as women, we give a warning to the person we're in the relationship with that we will not tolerate any mess, and you're not here to be put through any unnecessary pain and heartache. You see, pain is real, and pain is a part of the process. Feeling uncomfortable is something we want to avoid at all costs. And pain does that very thing, makes us feel uncomfortable. Pain forces us to look at ourselves and examine the situation. Pain places a demand for treatment and a process. We can't heal pain without a process. And this is also what many of us want to avoid. There is no telling how long the process will be to heal the aching pain that is invading our body, heart, and mind. However, once acknowledged, an immediate decision must be made. Will you ignore it? Or will you acknowledge and surrender to the process of healing? Either choice either choice you make will have a lasting impact on your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. To ignore pain because you are afraid and want to avoid being uncomfortable is not escaping the situation. In fact, you're only prolonging the process and causing what can be healed in a short period of time to be longer due to added complications caused by your delayed reaction. See, I can recall at my follow-up checkup when the doctor gave me the diagnosis that I was healed of cancer. He also said they were able to catch it in time. Now, I want you to hold on to that phrase. They were able to catch it in time. So if I waited and prolonged the process of ignoring the warning signs, going for my checkups, follow-up appointments, surrendering to the process, and trusting God, my prognosis would have been different. It was through the pain of my situation that my power was revealed and elevated. When you acknowledge the areas in your life that's causing you pain, you walk into a new realm of power. God would not give you a situation that He would not give you strength to go through. Now, I'm not saying that you will not have battle wounds. Feel fear. Go through an emotional roller coaster of hope and doubt. You will feel all of those emotions. However, what's also happening is your strength in God, the increase in faith, and developing a new mindset to go through the valley experiences. No one wants pain, but when we're not ready to face reality, we disguise it as something else just to get by. The marriage is suffering, but instead of getting the help you need to save it, you place a Band-Aid in hopes no one will see the cracks. The job is causing you to feel depressed, elevating of high blood pressure and stressed. But instead of addressing it by seeking a new job, you hold on to it because you don't want to do the work to look for a new one. You feel in your mind that it's too exhausting. And now what happened is you found comfort being in an unhealthy situation. Then there's those situations in our lives that we obviously see red flags. They're waving, they're blaring. They're causing a signal for us to pause because you have undealt with family trauma, causing isolation, confusion, frustration, and hurt. But instead of acknowledging the flags and seeking help from a therapist, you brush it off and point the finger outward, that it's the fault of others of the reason why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. Remember, hurt people hurt people. So you not being healed means you're exchanging your pain with others. It's when we cross the threshold of pain and welcome healing, we see our true identity of strength. You see, you're a woman of courage because you dared to believe in greater and break the cycle of reoccurring pain in your life. You now can see your life clearer than before. You realize the giant that was blocking your growth, and you realize that that giant was not so big after all. All it took was your yes to say, God, help me heal the pain that is raging in my mind, that is raging in my heart, that is raging all over my body and causing illness to take over. You recognize the process is difficult, but through it, you realize a desire is now burning on the inside of you. That is your strength. That is you acknowledging your strength. Because you said yes and you were willing to walk across the threshold of pain to welcome the healing. No one is saying that you have to stay in the place of pain. Free yourself. Allow yourself to be free. But the only way through that and to get to freedom is looking yourself in the mirror and acknowledging what you see, acknowledging how you feel, acknowledging what you've been through, and saying, I am not going to go through this another day of carrying the baggage of this pain. This pain is preventing my growth. This pain is preventing me from achieving my dreams and my desires. This pain is preventing my joy and happiness. This pain is preventing relationships from coming into my life. This pain is preventing me from having all that I know that God wants me to have. So I have to do the work and I have to go through the process. And I know that God is not going to give me more than I can bear, because He is going to equip me with the strength for me to go through. Remember, to go through the fire. And that fire is intensifying your hope, prosperity, you being optimistic, and you being determined. You begin to believe in greater. And yes, you can is now the song ringing in your spirit. Now that job that we talked about before, the job that you felt so comfortable at, is now a meantime situation to your greater. The marriage that was crumbling now has hope of a solution of reconciliation. The you that you've been trying to avoid because of your past is now rising up to see the strength in overcoming your past. Remember this, that life is not void of pain. It's not void of pain, of power, and of purpose. Some of us get stuck in the pain, that we can't see the power that we possess. So I want to dare you. I dare you to give the process a try. To confront your pain and to say, I am ready to feel. Maybe you'll need help from a professional, such as a therapist, or a coach, or a church leader. Whichever you choose, or if you choose all of the above, you must allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's when you're vulnerable that true healing reveals itself. So, My beautiful friends, there is life after pain. Please do not remain stuck in this phase. Please do not remain stuck in your pain. We need to stop reciting a story of our past and hoping for a new present and future. The only way this will happen is if we do the work to heal ourselves. As I stated in my previous podcast episode, many may listen to my story, a crossroad called cancer, and think to themselves, I don't have cancer, so how does this relate to me? Well, I want to tell you, cancer is just one of the ways a person can go through a painful experience. Your crossroad may not be cancer, but it could be called infertility, divorce, abandonment, abuse, grief, neglect, loss of hope, loss of joy, depression, loneliness, and so much more. Think about that. Today, I hope you say yes to healing and allowing yourself to grow in the journey of pain, power, and purpose. You're needed in this world. I don't care who told you differently. I've had that story told to me too. I'm speaking to you, the person who grew up in an environment, or you're currently in an environment where you feel suppressed and you were told that you will never be anything, you will never amount to anything, and that your past will always haunt you and you cannot move forward from it. I'm speaking to you to tell you that your story of who you are, the journey that you travel, it means something. It has value. It can help not only yourself from freeing yourself from the prison of your mind, but it will also help someone else who is going through a similar situation, and they can use your story as an anchor of hope, an anchor of freedom, to tell them that if you did it, they can do it too. That's the benefit of our story. Our story is currency. Our story is wealth. Our story is freedom. And your story is telling you that you are greater than where you are right now. So yes, you're needed in this world. And I cancel out any messages that you have received or you are currently receiving from anyone in your life or in your environment or atmosphere right now. I cancel it out. Your purpose is needed. But I want you to know, it may be unclear because it's buried beneath the pain. So do the work today. Do the work. I'm here. I got you. I am working it out right along with you. So you're not doing it alone. Just remember, just do the work. Free yourself from the pain. I enjoy sharing with you today. And I welcome you back to my podcast to listen to other episodes that's currently airing that will also provide a level of encouragement and empowerment to you. And listen, if you know of a friend that can use a level of encouragement along their journey, pass it on. Pass it on. Pass this podcast on to someone to say, hey, I was listening to something and I'm thinking that this will give you a little encouragement along your way. We should always want our sisters to win. And this can help them win in their journey called life. So, I'm looking forward to your comments as we're sharing in this experience together. And I hope that you see that we are sharing in this experience together because we are a community. So let's maximize the beauty of our sisterhood. Until next time, I want you to be well. I want you to be safe. And most of all, I want you to know that you are blessed and you are meant to be a blessing.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe to this podcast and like, share, and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, be well, be safe, and be kind to yourself.